Welcome to the very first video of my Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 edition tutorials, where I'm going to teach you how to play. Very concepts of it. This first video is going to be about why play? What is there to do? What can you be? What can you do? The reason why I'm doing these videos is because I've had a lot of people on my live stream, which is Saturday nights at around midnight. We start Pacific time. We play Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 edition. Come join us. Lots of fun. It's inappropriate D&D is what it's called, because we get inappropriate, twisted, crazy fun. Come join us if you want to see what the game is like actually played live. It's a really good way to know what the game's about. But otherwise, Dungeons & Dragons itself is originally a pen and paper role-playing game that has been now pretty much adapted to the internet. It's still highly recommended to play with a group of your friends together, sitting around a table with your drinks and chips and your dice and your books, and you're rolling, having fun, staying up late and doing all your stuff, D&D related and everything. It's a lot of fun, but if you can't do that and you want to play still, then I highly recommend using two tools that we use, and they are Roll20.net and Mythweavers.com. The links are going to be down below as to what each one of them are. This right here is the interface for when you're playing the game. Roll20 itself is a completely free to use program, website, that if you want, you can pay. It's $5 a month or $10 a month, depending on what you want. Each plan offers their own special stuff. Nice thing about it is being able to add dynamic lighting, line of sight, being able to upload more of your artwork and content without having to run out of space, because you are limited on your megabytes for their servers. Being able to write your own API scripts to do macros and to have a lot of the system compute your equations and dice rolls for you to help speed up the game and get more immersed into your characters in the world. I highly recommend these, and if you can, I highly recommend actually paying for one of the plans because of the extra features you get that are really, really cool. And if you have a tablet, or you can actually access this, the interfaces and everything here via your tablet if you're paying. It's really cool. So Roll20.net, again, links are in the description below, and Mythweavers.com. We use Mythweavers.com for our character sheets. Now this is what a character sheet looks like, and it's all, we just type in everything, and it's all right then and there. If our DM asks for the sheet because they want to verify something on it, all we do is send them a link. It simplifies it a lot easier, and gives us everything. So Mythweavers also does have, it's free, but they do have, if you want to support them to help them grow, they do have a community supporter package, which gives more stuff for their site. Again, links are in the description below. Check them out. They're really amazing. But to get into it, before I fully get into what is D&D and what can you be and what can you do, I want to say in the comments below, if you have any questions during this, if you have any questions, period, about all these tutorials and Dungeons & Dragons and whatnot, just write them in the comments below. I will answer them best I can. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But yeah, make comments below about any questions you have about Dungeons & Dragons, and as we're going through. There's going to be many series videos here. I'm going to go through in depth as much as I can about making characters, system mechanics, and just the game in general. So, what is Dungeons and Dragons, and what can you do? Well, in a sense, you can do anything. I mean, use your imagination, have an open mind, and get ready for some unreal fantasy, medieval, fun stuff. I mean, you could go from being a dwarven, battle axe wielding god of the arena to a wizard whose nose is buried in books and explores the world for the latest and greatest, magic, and everything in between. You could be a paladin to Palor, one of the gods and deities in the world, and go around trying to convert people to your religion. There's countless different kinds of combinations of people and things you can be. Think of it like this. An actor in a movie plays a character. Normally, there's a script and they have to run their lines and they have all that kind of stuff, and they have to follow all that. But they have the character, which has a background. It's got a history. They make them as if they're a real person, so they can get into that role better and be a better actor at it and be more convincing. D&D is very similar to that, except for there's no script. You make your character, you come up with your background, you come up with your story, you roll all your stats and your abilities and your scores, and you figure out what weapons you're going to use and all that stuff, and then you throw out the script because there never was one, and you become the character in this new amazing fantasy world. And you do whatever that character, for how you made them, would do. Whatever you think they would do, attempt to do it. If your thief would rob from the nobleman's house, try to do it. If your Palor paladin would try to convert that thief to no longer be a thief and to go into the service of Palor, try to do it. There's so many different things you can do. The only restrictions that there would be is up to the dungeon master. That's the person who runs the game. They run the NPCs, the shops, the enemies, the monsters, the gods themselves. They create the world, or they use a world that Wizard of the Coast, makers of the game, have already in there. They are the gods of the world, basically. They say what you can and can't do. If you have the skills and you have the knowledge, your character does, I should say, there's nothing stopping you. Your DM go, okay, you have the knowledge to do this, you have the skills to do this, do it. Attempt to do it. A lot of it is the luck of the die. You roll a dice, and if you roll good, you succeed. If you roll bad, well, then you're not so lucky. So, Dungeons and Dragons, you can do whatever you could possibly think of that your character would do. Now remember, the paladin's not going to go start slaughtering people or be like the thief and steal from people. And the thief is not necessarily going to go and, well, unless you already worship Palor, but I doubt it. Palor's the god of good, and a thief really is kind of neutral. Wouldn't really, Palor wouldn't be a really good with thieving. So, the thief wouldn't necessarily go and worship Palor and be a paladin, change to a paladin. You stick with what your character that you made's personality and alignment is. And then you play it out. It's lots of fun. It allows you to escape and just let loose and have fun. So that's what you can and can't do, who you can be in Dungeons and Dragons. In next video, I will be going over ability scores, and we will be creating a character. It'll be a human fighter. The reason why I'm choosing a human fighter is because it's recommended as the beginning class and race and character, because they're the least complicated character. So you can learn a lot easier how to do things and learn the system mechanics as you play, because you don't have as much stuff to worry about. So we'll be making that, and next tutorial will be ability scores. So that wraps it up. We're talking about what D&D is, what you can do, who you can be, just a generalized concept of Dungeons and Dragons. Don't forget about the live stream, Saturday nights, midnight, Pacific time. I know it's kind of late for some, but it's a lot of fun, and it gives you a good example of what it's like to play live. I do also upload them to my channel throughout the week in parts, so feel free to check them out. They are lots of fun, and you can actually see what it's like to actually play. So don't forget to leave comments down below about any questions you have related to D&D. I will answer them to the best of my ability. Otherwise, subscribe, like this video, share it with your friends so they can learn also with you, and then you can play with them and have lots of fun enjoying this amazing game. Until then, have a great evening, night, day, whatever time it is by you. I'll see you next time.